Hey guys, welcome back to Seeking Tiki. In this episode, we are going to New York. So right now we are driving from Atlantic City to Jersey City.
Jersey City! So if you're like me and you haven't really been to New Jersey, you may not know that Jersey City is basically New York City. It is right across the water.
So we are staying right across from Manhattan at the Liberty Harbor RV Park in Liberty City.
We were. It was so cool, you guys. It was literally just quick 10-minute walk to the ferry, a really reasonably priced ferry, and you could even buy like day, week, whatever pass you want, and it just takes you right directly to downtown Manhattan, right near One World Trade. You can see the Statue of Liberty. All of my little tourist exciting vibes were just going off. It was really cool and a beautiful ride on the ferry too.
So when we got to Manhattan, it was actually right before 4th of July weekend, and it was over 100 degrees in New York.
It's the worst thing about YouTube videos, y'all. The heat felt like a punch to the face. It was so hot. It was so humid. I cannot describe. Maybe you can kind of see how sweaty we look in these videos. I cannot describe. So while we were there, we did come upon One World Trade, and this was my first time actually seeing the memorial. So it was actually very emotional for me, and I do recommend if you haven't seen the memorial there for the World Trade Center and you have a chance to in New York City, definitely go. It was actually much more emotional and difficult than I thought it would be, and I had to immediately text my friend I was with on 9/11. So, Elsa, what's up?
We keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't have a back, no. We keep dancing with the devil, but he doesn't have a back,
So we walked around downtown and then immediately got in a cab because it was so hot and went to the Upper East Side to get some pizza.
And where do we get pizza?
My favorite place, Serafina. Really good Neapolitan pizza, guys.
It is. Dan spent a lot of time in New York City as a child, so we had a lot of spots we had to hit, and we were just there really briefly. It was obviously way too hot to be in New York City, but who can pass up New York City? We had to do it, so we had to check out those spots.
so after some pizza, we are walking a few blocks down the street to the Mark Hotel, where we hung out and checked out the bar.
And why did we go to the Mark Hotel?
When I was a kid, we used to stay at the Mark Hotel all the time, so it was really cool to be back.
It was the tour de young Dan, and the people there were super cool because we told them that Dan used to go there as a kid all the time, and some things have changed a bit, and they literally gave us a tour of like the whole restaurant and lower area, just to be nice. Actually, they really didn't have to do that, so thanks guys, like that was super cool of you.
Alright, so after dinner and hanging out in Manhattan, we tried to take a cab back across the water to Jersey City, but...
Yeah, they would only take us basically down to the One World Trade in the harbor there. They were like, we don't go to Jersey City. And we're like, well, how do we get there? Because we had just missed the ferry by, I don't know, half hour. We're like, crap. So apparently cabs, some of them, don't go there. We got pretty lucky, so we did get, what was it, a Lyft?
Yeah.
Or an Uber? Yeah, so we had to pay handsomely, but we were able to take, I think it was a Lyft through the tunnels. I think part of the reason why they didn't do that is because there's very steep fees to come back from Jersey City back into Manhattan. So if you are doing that, do keep in mind that some of the cabs don't want to take you back over, and make sure you time your exit to make sure that you can either take the ferry back to Jersey City if that's where you're going, or keep in mind you might have to pay extra to take an Uber back over. We were not quite prepared for that.
Alright, so the next day we are making our way to Long Island. So I thought it would be easiest just to take the Holland Tunnel through. But we learned from a police guy there that you cannot take an RV.
Right, so we showed up there and we just thought the height was the issue, and we could definitely make it through due to the height. No, they won't allow any propane, even if you turn your propane off. We actually had to get a police escort to turn around. They had to shut down the lanes going the other direction, and a police escort to get out.
Alright, thank you, sir.
So what they did tell us was we couldn't take the next closest tunnel, which was the Lincoln Tunnel. Again, no RVs allowed whatsoever. And then that we had to take the George Washington Bridge. But the interesting caveat on that as well is you could only take the upper level. So RVers, these are the kind of things you want to know. You can't take the Holland Tunnel. You can't take the Lincoln Tunnel. You have to take the George Washington Bridge if you're going to go north from Jersey City towards Long Island. But again, only the second level. These are things that you want to know when towing a trailer through Manhattan.
So we made it through Long Island, where we are actually staying at our first Harvest Host ever. And we are staying at the Better Man Distillery in Long Island.
We are, and for those of you that may not know what a Harvest Host is, it's this really cool service for RVers and van life people, where basically a business allows you to stay essentially for free for the night. But basically, and they're typically businesses with a lot of land. This was a distillery. It might be a winery, a brewery, a farm. And then all they simply ask is that, you spend a little bit of money. If it's a farm, you buy some cheese or something. If it's a winery, you buy a bottle of their wine. This distillery, they obviously had alcohol for sale, as well as we could buy food. They had a little dance club. It was such a cool spot. So we actually had a really great first experience at a Harvest Host. They were incredible. So thank you so much, you guys.
So thank you to the Better Man Distillery. And in the next video, we are making our way up the 95, going to
Cape Cod. What? We're so excited.
Yeah, we actually, this trip did not stay in Connecticut, but we stopped in Connecticut for lunch. But we will see you guys on the road in Cape Cod.
We did. We can't wait. The next video is so cool. We'll see you guys on the road.
So right now we are driving from
Atlantic City. Can you let him go?
Baby, the footage is different. Because it just shows us in the cab.
Yeah, but it doesn't show us arriving.
Alright.